Hi, welcome back to my allotment. It's Thursday the 7th of May 2020. We are still in the grip of lockdown due to COVID-19, but I've managed to get away to my allotment for an hour or so this evening just to kind of potter about, do a few little bits, a little bit of digging, a bit of watering, and just a bit of general tidying up. It's quite difficult at the moment. With the lockdown, we're only allowed out supposedly for about an hour a day for exercise, but allotments are counted as part of our daily exercise, so we're making the most of it. So we've been down here as a family over the last few weeks. We've managed to really get on top of it this year. Beds are dug over, we've managed to get a lot of weeding done, the grass has been cut down, the brassica cage has been finished off. So we're really on top of it. Got plenty of plants in the greenhouse waiting to come out, and we've already planted some of the brassicas into the brassica cage. I've got some Romanesco, I've got some cabbage and some sprouting broccoli in there already. It's meant to be cold over the weekend, this weekend coming, so I'm really kind of holding off putting out the bulk of things. I've got lots of beans to put out, and I really want to get the greenhouse cleared out so I can start getting my tomatoes in the ground. We've been looking at different varieties of beans this year. We've got some crimson flower beans, broad beans, as well as some very sort of black or purple dwarf or climbing beans, so it'll be interesting to see how they come out. We didn't have much success with broad beans last year. They all died off pretty much as soon as they were put into the ground. I tend to plant things in the greenhouse first to get the plants growing, and then put them out to give them a bit more of a chance against the pigeons and everything else. But it turns out, after watching a Charles Dowding video, that there was some potentially pesticide residue left in some of the mushroom compost that we used last year to mulch a lot of the beds, and it didn't do the broad beans any good at all. They all died off. But this year we've got some in already, and they're looking quite good. So I'll stop wittering, and we'll have a quick look around. Okay, so we'll start in the fruit cage this time. We don't very often come in here. Mainly because it's full of weeds, and it does get neglected. It's one of the last things that we do. But my wife Sam has been in here, and she's done a great job in clearing out all the weeds, and it's looking really good at the moment, apart from the grass that needs a bit of a cut in the pathways. But we'll start with the strawberries. They're looking really good at the moment, really going well. Lots of flowers on there, so looking forward to a good crop of strawberries. Cherry trees, they've blossomed well this year, and you can see we've got plenty of cherries starting to grow on there, so looking forward to those. We had some good cherries off there last year. The kids really did enjoy eating those. My josterberry bush, again, has blossomed, and it's now got the starts of the berries. So through here we've got our autumn fruiting raspberries. So I cut those back. They're now starting to grow back up, looking really good. Really pleased with those. Another cherry tree over here. Again, looking really good, and plenty of fruit on there. My autumn, sorry, not my autumn, the spring raspberries, or the summer raspberries. Didn't prune them back this year because, to be honest with you, I completely forgot. But plenty of flowers on this year, doing quite nicely. So hoping we're going to get some raspberries off them, and we'll make sure that we prune them back this year. Gooseberry bushes, again, starting to see some gooseberries growing. Ouch, just got pricked there by one of the thorns, but gooseberries starting to form up, so looking forward to that. We haven't had gooseberries off these bushes before, so looking forward to seeing some crops off there. Okay, over here we've got a bed which has got a few fruit bushes in it, or a couple of fruit bushes in it, we planted last year from home. We're rehoming them into this bed. This bed's got overrun with weeds, and I've started digging it over. We'll cover the fruit bushes up once they start ripening, to stop the birds getting at them. the plan here is to have it as a bit of a flower bed. Got some dahlia plants at home. My mother-in-law very keen on her dahlias, and she's got lots and lots of dahlias. In fact, I think she said she's got about 90 dahlia plants, so she's quite happy to let me have a few here to put down here. We can have a bit of colour, and helps the bees and the insects. Also helps with the pollination, of course. So here we have a bed dug over by my son Jacob. He took this on as a little project for himself. It initially started off as a bit of a rubbish mound, but we've dug it over, levelled it out. Still got a few weeds in it, but it's been raked over, and some wildflower seeds have been planted in here. So again, it's a bed for the bugs and the birds to come along and feed off. The brassica cage, I won't go in there tonight because I've now closed it all up, and it's a bit of an elaborate doorway, but hopefully you can see. So down here we have our Romanesco Romanesco cabbage, sorry, and through the back, if I can bring the camera through, we have our sprouting broccoli, and next to that some cabbage. The slugs have been we've got some marigolds planted in between, because I've heard that they're good at preventing the whitefly, or at least helping stop the whitefly infestations, and the slugs have been at the marigolds, but they've been down and put some pellets down this evening, so hopefully that will sort those out. So in here we've got leeks and onions. Few onions that we had left over from planting at home. The leeks, I think I planted out far too early, but I just didn't have the space in the greenhouse. They were bursting out of their seed tray, so I thought I'll just chuck them in and see what happens. Some of them are doing okay, some of them aren't. So I've got a few extras left, so we'll see what happens. And a few spring onions here planted out in blocks rather than individuals, and we'll see how they go. So here we have some sunflowers. All the children, I've got two children, Jacob and Rhea. They've planted one of the larger sunflowers at the either end of the bed, and they've got three cousins, so they've planted some smaller sunflowers which are in the middle. So we've all had a play with planting sunflower seeds. And over here we've got the no dig bed, which started planting in. So we've got a bit of parsley at the back there, and as I mentioned earlier, the crimson broad beans, and these are doing great at the moment. I'm really pleased with these. So look at these flowers, they are absolutely gorgeous, really gorgeous. And then the standard broad beans, I can't remember the variety of these, but these are the I think they're the Aqua Dulce, or however you pronounce it. So they're doing really well, so hopefully we'll get a reasonable crop, and I do have some more in the greenhouse at home ready to plant out to get a bit of succession sowing. And over here, the potatoes, not as many as we had last year. Due to the current situation, I didn't get as many seeds potatoes as I'd hoped. My plan was originally to buy a few, get them in the ground, and then pop to the garden centres and grab some more. Lesson learnt there, get everything all at once just in case. But they started coming through, so we've earthed up, and I planted another row in yesterday. A little later than I'd hoped, but you know, there we go, potatoes, they'll grow. One thing I have noticed yesterday when we came down was that the cold weather had started to affect the leaves of the potatoes, but earthed up, they'll be fine. And the garlic, looking good, looking okay. Not quite sure how it's going to turn out this year, simply because we've not had the frosts. We've not had a hard frost, sharp frosts that the garlic needs to split the bulbs. So we'll see how it goes. They're actually last year's bulb from last year's crop. I'd obviously forgotten in the ground, and went to plant some that I'd already bought, and they were already growing, so I thought I'd split them, put them in the ground, see how they did, and they're doing great. So if they don't turn out that great, then nothing lost really. So that's it. Quick view of the fruit trees, doing okay, all blossomed this year, and hopefully we'll get some fruit. A couple of things we have had a bit different this year. Popped a bit of trellising up next to the shed to create a little area here, and we've got a grapevine, so we could see how that turns out. Not for winemaking, mainly just for a bit of fun, and hopefully we get a few grapes off for either some jam or desserts, or just picking off and eating. So that's it, just a quick update for this evening. It's a gorgeous evening down here. I could spend all evening down here. Just sat down here, there's no one else here. All I can hear are the birds, the crows, the rooks. It's just beautiful. The sun's still up, it's warm. So hopefully it's a sign of things to come, although they are forecasting some colder weather on Sunday. So we'll see what happens. So I'm keeping most of my plants in the greenhouse until after the weekend, after this sort of supposed cold weather. So we'll see how that goes. So thanks for watching, thanks for joining me, and hopefully we'll have another update in about a week's time. Cheers, bye bye.